Ho Chi Minh, commonly referred to as Uncle Ho, was a Vietnamese revolutionary and statesman. He was the former president of Vietnam and was a key figure in the liberation of Vietnam. Aside from his political activities, Uncle Ho was also a writer, poet, and even journalist. He is known to be a man of many virtues. Despite being a president, Uncle Ho never acted like he was above others. Instead, he led a frugal lifestyle, ate common food, and lived as any other person would. His love for the Vietnamese people was perhaps most clearly shown through his fondness and affection towards children. Now, let me tell you a story about Uncle Ho and a child during his visit to Cao Bang to present the noble character of Uncle Ho. Though he was often occupied with work at the time, Uncle Ho could finally spare some time for a visit to Cao Bang province after 2 years being away.
Let's take a break, guys.
Everybody, he's coming. Uncle Ho is coming. He's coming. Oh my God.
Upon seeing him, everyone, whoever they were, whatever they were doing, hastily raced toward Uncle Ho to welcome his arrival. Everyone, no matter if they were old or young, whether they were busy tilling the soil or carrying home buckets of water, was ready to stop doing their current jobs to express their joy towards their beloved uncle's presence. Among all the people surrounding Uncle Ho was the familiar face of a child.
Girl, did you remember what you asked me 2 years ago?
When Uncle Ho was in Cao Bang 2 years ago, she used to follow him wherever he went. She stuck by his side when he was working in the fields, when he was fishing by the riverbanks, and after working hours.
Hey, for me. What is this?
The day he had to go away to work, she walked him off until the end of the village road to see him off. Seeing this, Uncle Ho leaned down to hug her, and before he could say anything, he heard her say something in a very neutral tone.
If you happen to see a bracelet on your way, can you get me one?
Yes, I promise.
You promise?
Yeah, I promise.
Thank you, Uncle Ho. Thank you. Bye-bye.
To the children of Cao Bang, being able to wear a silver bracelet on their wrists was something to be joyful about. 2 years later, that same child had already grown more matured. She learned to read, write, and she no longer acted in the same childish manner she did 2 years ago. Maybe she had forgotten about the silver bracelet that she asked Uncle Ho to buy her. Needless to say, the villagers who saw him off 2 years ago also forgot about it. Even though it was just a childish request from a child no more than 10 years old, even though everyone had already forgotten about it, including the requester herself, Uncle Ho, who undoubtedly had much greater things to worry about, had not forgotten about it. After exchanging greetings with the villagers and spotting the familiar face in the crowd, our uncle walked toward her and while leaning down, took out a brand new silver bracelet from his pocket and handed it to the child before him. Taken aback by the sudden gift from the great leader himself, the child couldn't hold back her happiness. She spoke with tears welling up her eyes. Thank you so much, Uncle Ho. The assistant told to the others what had happened during the trip, about how Uncle Ho went and had bought the bracelet himself.
So why did you give that little girl a silver bracelet?
Well, she specifically asked for this bracelet. That means she must have really wanted it. If it's bad, then we should advise her against it. But if it's good, then there's little reason to decline it. Children are like white paper sheets.
They turn red if you dye them red, and turn blue if you dye them blue. He teaches us that once we have made a promise, we have to keep it. Otherwise, we shouldn't have made it in the first place. That's called trust. Trust is important, and maintaining trust is essential. And that's the end of our little story. As you can see, Uncle Ho's noble virtues not only shine on the battlefield, but also in the little things in ordinary daily life. As a national leader, Uncle Ho was expected to be committed to larger-scale missions. However, he never went back on his words, even in trivial matters. This proved his love and care for young children. As stated, children are the future of a nation. Uncle Ho may have passed away, but his spirit will live on each of our hearts for generations and generations to come.